Does it work? Is it working? Come on, go live. Be alive. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Look at these glorious flowers. Look at these beautiful flowers from Karen Smith. Thank you so much, Karen. Check out those peonies. Unbelievable. And this is only half the bouquet. The other half is in the house. Just glorious. Thank you so much. You made my day. And I thought today, since we're in Nederland, in Holland, the Netherlands, whatever you want to call that lovely, lovely country that we're staying in today and for the rest of the week, tulips. I thought we might have a little dabble at tulips as well today, you know, because they're ever so easy. Listen, we could be drawing peonies. Not so easy. Come on in. Good morning. Lovely to have your company. Look. Blue china is spode. It's very English, but I thought Delft. When I think of when you think of Holland or the Netherlands, don't you think of blue china? I do. Delft. Yeah, lovely. We used to live in a place in Spode Lane. It was called Spode Lane in Cowden, and so I got right into it, and I collected spode. I got loads of it, lovely, really old, you know, lovely old spode stuff. And I remember my mum, she bought me a butter dish, a spode butter dish. And she said, but don't use it in case you break it. I said, Mum, that sort of defeats the object. It really defeats the object. I'd love to use it every day. But what happens if you break it? I said, well, do you know what? If we break it, we'll replace it. But at least I get joy out of it every day then, don't I? Rather than put it in a cupboard and stare at it for 20 years. Anyway, I've been using this spode butter dish now for, 20 years? Yeah? Still going strong. Dishwasher proof. Yeah, you can't be a bit of spode. Come on in, good morning. See, that would have been 20 years of not using it. What for? For best. For all my guests that are coming round. Not. for all these people that are going to come piling in for dinner parties. Not. Anyway, come on in. Welcome to Holland today. Or the Netherlands. I've been corrected. It's supposed to be called the Netherlands. But do you know what? For us English, it's called Holland. I remember my lad when he was tiny, and he was learning to read. And I remember his sister, she's so cruel sometimes, he said, Holland. and Grace started laughing at him. No wonder he's got a chip on his shoulder sometimes when it comes to her. Holland. He's a lovely boy. He's a gorgeous boy, actually. And he's doing very well in San Francisco. I know several of you asked. Grace is doing great in New York. Mark is doing fine in San Francisco. It's all calming down a little bit over there now. It's like everything, it goes, doesn't it? It just comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes. And here we are in the SHAC, doodling a windmill. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? 1 minute to 10, come on in, grab a seat. Lovely flowers, beautiful flowers. I think Holland is famous for its tulips and its flowers. I saw a documentary a little while ago, you know, because of course with the pandemic, that industry just collapsed. And it was quite heartbreaking to see these thousands of acres of tulips and flowers just going rotten in the ground, you know. So it's quite devastating, really, at so many different levels what's going on here. But do you know what? For this hour, it's okay. And here we are in the SHAC, safe, happy and creative, stay home and craft. And today we're in Holland, the Netherlands, and we're going to enjoy a little bit of inking today, because yesterday we did our windmill, didn't we? How are you all? And where are you all? Are you having a good time? I know you're in Holland with me, but where are you actually? And is the sun shining where you are? Because here it's actually really nice today again. Bit fresh though, bit cold around the feet. Because I'm above a garage, I haven't got any heating underneath. Don't matter. I'm in the garage. It's fine. You know? It's fine, isn't it? Hey? We're not under siege. I think what's mostly at the moment, we're all a bit confused. I don't know. I don't know. Am I allowed to go out? Am I not allowed to go? My mum said yesterday on the phone to me, she said, can we go to Morrison's now? I said, I wouldn't recommend it, Mum. She said, I have a real hankering to go to Morrison's. I said, I don't think that's such a good idea, Mum. She said, I really would like to. I could take my Zimmer frame. And I thought, bloody hell, Mum, I'll go to Morrison's if you want something from Morrison's. But I don't really think that's, well, social distancing. And so, you see, it's working. The games that are being played out in the news are actually working now. And elderly people, I don't think they know anymore. I know for myself that is not an option. And I don't think it's an option for my mum either. So that's the little chat we're going to have. Right, are we ready to rock and roll? Are we happy? Are you? Yeah, are you okay with this? Come on in then. Yesterday we did our windmill, didn't we? Let's have a look. Is the volume all right? Can you hear me, or am I just bantering away to myself here? Right, come on. Let's have a look at this windmill and see what we're doing. So yesterday, where's the windmill? So remember we got all technical, didn't we? And we did the wings and we did the sails. And then somebody on Facebook said it looked like a Dalek. No, it doesn't look like, well, it does look like a Dalek actually. And then somebody in America said, what is a Dalek? What's a Dalek? A Dalek is from an old program. We wear l'exterminate. Don't you remember that? It's like Doctor Who, wasn't it? Doctor Who. Wasn't that where the Daleks came from? We wear l'exterminate. That's all I remember as a kid. So there you go. When we're making Daleks with four really long rotating arms. And this windmill that I'm drawing, I've drawn here, has got in there, in the bottom, there's a beautiful Archimedean, I think it's called, it's like a great big screw. And what it does is, it changes the water levels. See here, like this is how it works. So the water goes in here, and then the screw rotates, and it drops the water, or it raises the water, depending on which way around the screw goes. So this whole system here is like it's like we have in canals where we put locks in, right? This Archimedean screw. It functions in such a way that it changes the level. And I can remember we were in, I think, was it last year or the year before? Dave and I, we went to North Germany, and we saw this. And I've drawn this off memory. And then Dave said to me, he said, well, Barbara, your memory's pretty good. I've got to show you. Look. See if you can see this. You see the windmill? See the little windows? That's exactly. And there's the screw. Can you see that? It's a great, and this is wooden. It's a great big, I wonder if I can show you on my phone. Oh no, this is a bit. Can you see it? It's there. And I said to you that there was like a gate or a fence that protected. Otherwise, all your mandarin ducks would just get mashed, wouldn't they? So there's this really, it's like a drawbridge, and it goes down in front of the screw so that animals can't get caught in it, and little people, you know. So that's what we've drawn there. But it is a fantastic piece of engineering. See, so that there, if we look at, just so you know what you're drawing, I think it's worth knowing that. See, probably so that the ducks don't get in, probably want to go like that, right? Proper drawbridge. There you go. Now nobody's getting in there, because you could really do yourself some harm in that thing, couldn't you? Anyway, I thought it was quite interesting to see how it works, you know. And yeah, so it's a Dalek. And then we did this really nice rope, didn't we? Like a cable, which is really cool. Because I was thinking that screw idea, so it's twisted, isn't it? And then we did, so I thought nice sort of buttons and things like that would be cool. So then I had a little more of a doodle. Is that English? There you go. And I put a few tulips in. Tulips of Amsterdam. Anyway, so here's your tulips. And I thought we could have a little go at them as well. And then I put a couple more buttons and discs in the corner. It just gives it a bit more interest, doesn't it? Don't you like that? So that's about it really today. And we're going to ink this as well. So when you do your when you do this bit here, this twisted bit, you want to kind of leave the area in the corner. That's what I'm suggesting, because that's where we're gonna, if we put our tulips in here, that'd be nice. We could put a duck in, if you're not fed up with ducks. You could put a little quack quack in there. I might do that later. I've got to work out a really simple way to put a duck in. Yeah. That's going to be a piece of cake. Right, so I'm going to put a little duck in there. Okay, but seriously, folks, what we want to do is put a couple of more buttons there and a handful of tulip heads. Don't you think that looks nice? Look at that. Just take that, forget that half. I haven't worked that out yet. I'm still, that's a work in progress over there. Whip, all right? At Clarity, we've got like a Dropbox, and everybody, all the designers, we've all got whip files, which means work in progress. And my whip file is the biggest file I've got. So this is the WIP here. I'll work it out. We'll have something. It'll be glorious. There's definitely going to be a pair of clogs in there somewhere. I just want to make it look not too cheesy. Oh, do you know what? Cheese, that's another thing in Holland. You could do a great big round of cheese. When we went to Leiden, this is the most beautiful town, absolutely glorious, near Amsterdam. And in Leiden, there's a cheese shop. I've never seen anything like it, right by one of the canals. You can't believe the amount of cheese in this shop. Absolutely fantastic. All different coloured, you know, the big round. Wonderful. Right, we're ready. Enough waffle. Come on, you must all be here by now. I'm only waffling so that everybody can get to the party in time and knows which buttons to press. So let me think, what's the best way to deal with this? Do we do the inking? I think we probably don't. I think, all right, I've got an idea. Because otherwise it's like, do you remember what we said? When we're doing pencil work, we have to really concentrate. And when we're doing inking, we can relax. So how about we do a little bit of relaxation just for the first half? So we'll do the windmill. We'll ink the windmill, but we won't worry about the rest. We'll ink the windmill. And then when we've done the windmill, then we'll park that. And then we'll practice our tulips. Yeah? Cool. Right, that's what we're going to do then. Right, so have you got a windmill? Oh, and before I forget, excuse me, Steve's in the building, aren't you, Steve? I hope you are. You said you would be. Well, Lucy said you would be. Stephen, Ellen, are you in the building? And also, what Lucy did, she kindly, because several of you asked, these were the same people that were saying, it looks like a Dalek. Done 12 of them, now I've got 12 Daleks. So I said, Lucy, do us a favour and turn my picture into a PDF, a digi-download. So I'm hoping that she's added it to this page, to the Clarity stamp page. And I know Jim will be listening because he's always got one ear on this. Perhaps, Jim, you could just coordinate. This is all lastminute.com, like 5 minutes ago. Please could you coordinate with Lucy and load that PDF onto the website, claritystamp.com, into the SHAC downloads, you know, where the geisha is and all that. If you could just do that for me, Jim, then our good friends will know where to look for the windmill download. But it's only the outline. I haven't, you know, It's only the outline. You've still got to do all the doodling. Okay? This is great, isn't it? I love it. I blimmin' love it. I woke up this morning and I was like, I was gripped. You know that fear? I don't know when that'll ever go away, but I woke up and I was like that. Oh my God, here we go again. And it took me about an hour to talk myself back down to where I could possibly do this, you know. And I'm so grateful that I've got this to come to, because it just gives you a kick up the backside, doesn't it? It just says, all right, come on, Gray, get your makeup on, get your hair on, find another top. You've had 52 different tops on and you're not going to crack now. We're getting right down to the dregs now, though. I like these, though. I haven't worn them for years. Gives me a reason to have a good old ferret in my cupboards, in my wardrobe. Never throw them away. You never know, you might get back into them again. Look. Look. The thing about these flared, these bell-bottom sleeves is they're not ideal for artwork. But it doesn't matter. I don't care. Come on, inky, inky, inky. Get your 005 out. Be all right. This too shall pass. Look how good we're getting. I'll tell you what, if somebody had said to me 3 months ago, you're going to draw a windmill like that, and then you're going to draw, and I did the tulips without Googling a tulip, just worked out what, you know, come on, I know what a tulip looks like. If it had been a peony, I might have had to take inspiration, you know, but a tulip, pretty straightforward. Come on then, I'm going to, which one shall I ink? I'm sport for choice, sport for choice. I'm going to go with this one. Yes, I am. Right, come on. Are you ready for this? I'm going to do this one, I think. Yeah, because then I'm up with you. Okay, pens at the ready. And come on, if you haven't got the posh Micron pens, don't worry, just get a black pen of some description. Get a biro, get anything. Don't get caught up. Don't say, oh, I can't do it because I haven't got the Micron pens, because that's no excuse in this building. Right, just here we go then. Pens at the ready. Steve, are you in there? Maybe he's not. Maybe he's busy. Don't matter. Jim, you're on it. If Steve's not. Right, okay. Feeling isolated, guys. Feeling isolated. Right, bit of scrap underneath. Just so that I can check my pens. And I'm going in with because you've got to do the front bit first. Are we in agreement with that? We're going to do the front first, aren't we? So, are we nervous? Come on. No, don't be nervous. It's only what is it? It's a doodle. It's a bit of copy paper. It's a Dalek or a pepper shaker, whatever you want to call it. And what we're going to do, we're going to do the bit at the front first. Okay? This is a lesson in doodling, isn't it? Just in inking in. So I think we'll do the sails, shall we? I wish. Do you know what I wish? I wish we could interact. I wish that you could talk to me. Well, I bet you are. If I know you, you are. Yeah, actually that gives me comfort knowing that you're talking to yourself as well. Let's all be mad together. Right, okay. Should we use a ruler or should we go freehand? Normally what we usually say is we go freehand, don't we? What do you think? Come on, use your loaf. Let's use our ruler. I think we'd be starved to use. Why would you go freehand on a straight line like this? What am I on here? The number 1. Come on, let's get the sails in. Slowly does it. Don't press too hard. You can only go once. Yeah, there you go. That wasn't too hard. Let's do the. Actually, grey. Let's get a system in. Otherwise, we will never get to the tulips. Right, you ready? Note to self: don't wear flared sleeves when you're doodling. because you keep catching it on the paper grey. It's all right though. It's a fashion statement. It's like those jumpers that young people wear, which cover your hands. You know, the ones that are really, really long, like there. You think, well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how practical that is. Is that a sign of me just getting old? I mean, what is the purpose? Unless, of course, their gloves are attached. They're just like, I've seen jumpers that do that as well, that have got a hole here, so you just put your thumb in them. Do you think sometimes the fashion world is running out of ideas? Right, this is good. This is easy. This is relaxing. I like this part of the deal. Let me get my head out of the way. Let's see if I can move over. That's better. See, I can get my head over now without irritating you. There you go. Let's have a look. Oh, and as soon as you do this is the best bit. I don't know about you, but as soon as I start doing this, I calm down. It's funny, isn't it, how it works? It's funny how it works. We've done the wings, let's do the sails. Let's do these bits. Let's just get them in. Because, yeah, you definitely, use your ruler. Why not? Let's just do the long bits first. It's not hard really, this, is it? It's a great shape. Right, let's have a look. Right, there you go. Relaxing. When you know, my mum's German, and so my Oma and Opa, they lived in North Germany. My mum and dad met in Germany when my dad was stationed. In fact, he was stationed in Holland for a while. And but every year when we were kids, we always visited my grandparents near Wilhelmshaven. So what we used to do, if I was going with Mum and Steve alone, we used to go to Liverpool Street. I remember it as if it was yesterday. So we did it so many years. We did it always, every summer. We'd go to Liverpool Street, and then we'd take the train to Harwich, and then we'd take the boat to the Hook of Holland, and then we'd take the train again. It was a really long trip. We'd take the train then to, hang on, let me get in, to Oldenburg, you know, that area. It took forever. But if we went with my dad, we'd be there for like 6 weeks, all summer holidays with Mum. And then my dad would come for like the last fortnight in the car, because he couldn't take that kind of time off work. And then he'd come in the car, and then he'd take us all home again. And we'd always drive through Holland. That was what I was getting to. That was the point. And we'd always drive through Holland, you see, to get to the Hook of Holland. And I used to love windmills. But it's quite complicated to get there. You know, there's lots of different ways to get to the Hook of Holland from North Germany. And I think we tried them all. And I remember it, because you were in an English car on the wrong side of the road. You know, it was all that going on as well. Trying to overtake. And my dad, he'd say, and my mum's name is Hilma, and he'd say, is it safe to pass, Hilma? Is it, you know, because it'd be behind a tractor or something, it'd be there for hours. And he'd say, Hilma, can I overtake? Is it safe? Is it safe? And she would be looking, and then she'd say, yes, John. And then as he came out, indicated to go out, she'd go, if you're very fast. So it was really, I can remember sitting in the back with my brother. Oh, mate. And then I remember once so there was this windmill, and it was really a nice one in the distance. It was a very imposing windmill, right? We drove past it, and I was just thinking my thoughts in the back of the car. I was only a little kid, and there was this beautiful windmill. And about 3 hours later, I thought, bloody hell, that windmill doesn't look familiar. Looks just like the one that we went past about 3 hours ago. I remember saying to Dad, you know, as you do, I think that windmill over there, haven't we gone past it before? And he was a typical man, right? He was completely lost. He just said, be quiet. Foiled. I recognised the windmill, that's why. And he'd gone in a full circle. We must have circumvented him in Holland and gone straight past the same windmill. It's not hard to do, though. I've got to say, it's not hard to get lost in Holland and Belgium and around that area. All the years I lived in Germany, and I still had to concentrate on getting from Nuremberg to Dover. It was quite easy. And where you got lost, if you did get lost, was in the Netherlands or in Belgium. That was where it usually used to go wrong. Yeah. How are you getting on? Are you there? Are we doing our sails? This is nice, isn't it? Relaxing. See, that's the nice part of this. Do you know what? I'm going to put my Dame Edna's on. Maybe my sails will improve if I put my posh glasses on. How are you doing? I'm actually drinking my tea as well. I'm going to drink my tea. Break time. Come on, we've got to check the neck. You know, because otherwise you're like that and your old hand starts cramping up. Okay. Got them on. Can't see a thing. Nose is running. We all right? We are, aren't we? Well, I think so. I think the winners are in here. The sensible people, the people that are actually doing something creative and constructive. I'm going to have to talk to my mum about Morrison's. I don't think that's a solution. Nah. If I'm not going to Morrison's, why would I drag my mother through Morrison's? What's that all about? What's going on at Morrison's that's exciting? I understand. She's been locked up now for 3 months. Maybe I'll drive her around the car park so she can see the queues of people. That'll cure her. Good idea. Yeah, do you know what? I might do that. I might just take her for a drive around Morrison's car park so she can see the queues. It's a crazy world we're living in, isn't it? It certainly is. Right. Have you had your break? Have you had your stretch? Stretch the neck. Yeah? Stretch the neck. Come on. You got to do that. If you do this for too many hours, you get up and you think, oh my God, what's happening? Come on. Ah, that's better. Right, windmill, here we come. Okay. Did you catch up a little bit? Right, I'm nearly there. See, I was looking at these sails, and I spoke to Dave about it. I said, "Is this an inaccurate dimension thing?" He went, "Absolutely not." He said, "The longer the sails, the more effective the windmill." He said, "Don't get technical on me, Gray." And then I said, the thing is, if it went round like that, it'd hit the ground, wouldn't it? It wouldn't go very far. Somebody said yesterday, the windmill's not going to move. It's like, well, it will. If there's a bit of wind and it's got it will go. Don't worry. It's going to hit the... Look, I already worked it out anyway. Mine's going to work, right? And then I was reminded years ago, I've got to tell you a story, right? Because this is the same sort of thing. Years ago, when we were little, we lived in Aylesbury, on a council estate, nice council estate, but it was still in Aylesbury, and we lived right by the Grand Union Canal, because that runs through Aylesbury, right. And next to the Grand Union Canal, there was a little brook, like a little stream. So there was the big Grand Union Canal, and then there was a path, and then there was a brook, and then there was a lock, and we used to sit by the lock. I mean, bloody dangerous, really, but, you know, we did as kids. And so there was this, in the brook, there was a tree overhanging the brook, right. And the kids from the estate, we'd got a rope, just like that, a rope hanging, and we used to, well, I only tried it once, it didn't go very well. So this rope was hanging over the brook, and then what you used to do was swing on the rope from one side to the other. This was the theory. So they'd put this rope up there, and then it was quite a big tree, and then all the kids from the estate, they were all on one side of the brook. I mean, to us, it was like a torrent. Okay, when you're little, and Steve was only, he's 4 years younger than me. So if I was 9, he was 5. You know what I mean? He was only a little one. So all the kids were all on one side, and I watched them all, and they were grabbing the rope. It was quite straightforward. They grabbed the rope like that, and then they'd push off the side, and they'd go to the other side, and they'd let go of the rope, and they'd be on the other side. So I thought, well, it can't be that hard, right? Mum and Dad had told us, you don't go near the canal. You never go near the canal, because the little kids are drowned there. Don't go near the canal, and you certainly don't go near the brook. And you don't hang out with all your friends. So we were already breaking all the rules. And anyway, come on, let's do this. I'll tell you the story. So have you got your sails in? Anyway, so I was watching all the other kids. Right, so we've got that in. Don't do the top bit, do the bottom bit, do the bit that's exposed. We'll sort this out in a minute, because I'm still thinking that one through. Let's do the bit of the Dalek, the bit of the windmill that's exposed, shall we? Right, come on. Okay, so then I'll tell you my story. So I can't concentrate on that and tell you all about what happened. Okay, right, ready? So it was my turn. It was my turn, and I didn't want to get my feet wet. So what I did was, I hung, because a lot of the kids got their feet wet, and I thought, no, I don't want to get into trouble. So I hung onto the rope a little bit higher up, all right, than perhaps I should have. So then when I swang to the other side, I couldn't quite make it, right? I couldn't quite make it to the other side. You know, childhood memories. So my feet couldn't quite touch the bank on the other side. Oh, I thought, oh, blast. So then I swang back the other way, right? But then what happened was I went that way, and I couldn't quite get to the bank. So then I swang back the other way, but then I couldn't quite get back to the bank. So I was like that, right? And I just kept going, and then in the end I was just hanging there like that, okay? Hanging in the middle of this brook, this torrent. It wasn't, it was a puddle, but it felt like it. It was wet enough to soak me, I can tell you. So I was hanging onto this rope, and I tried to, you know, sort of wiggle my way to the bank, but I couldn't. And I've always been rubbish at climbing ropes, so that was never going to work. So I couldn't go up, so there was only one way, down, right? So I had to drop into the water. First grey, that was me, the oldest one, soaked, like wet through. But everybody thought it was highly amusing. And my little brother, Steve, he was still on the other side, right? So they were going, go on, Steve, you can do it. You'll be all right. Yeah, right. So Steve, he'd watched me, and I said to him, this is all my fault, really, with hindsight. I said to him, oh, let me just concentrate here. Right, doodle. I think probably I want to do the bit at the front first, so I'm going to do the fence posts here. How do you feel about that? Should we do the fence posts first? Yeah, I think I'll stick with these long posts. Whatever you're doing at the front, go first, yeah? Yeah, defo. Oh, yeah. Okay, these next. Good idea, Gray. Get my head out of the way, sorry. Oh, it's all go, isn't it? Right, let me just get in the right place so you can see what I'm doing. Wunderbar. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, so Steve, he was still on the left bank and I was on the right bank like a drowned rat. And so I said to him, I said, hold further down the rope, Steve, so it doesn't happen to you too. Right? Hang on, I'm going to have to rejig my fence posts here. They're all over the place. I said, hold further down the rope, Steve, so that you get to the other side. He said, all right, Bob. I'll never forget it. He didn't even do this bit. He just went, whoosh. Stopped right in the water. He held so far down the rope that he just woofed. And he was up to there before he even, yeah. So then, of all the kids on the estate, the only two that got totally soaked were the Greys. And then it was the walk of shame back to the house. Dripping wet, shoes ruined, right? Can you imagine? Yeah. Oh, those were the days. Yeah, so that's my memory of this kind of, you know, not going too far. Like, that's what it reminded me of, was when that went so wrong in Aylesbury at the Grand Union Canal. Well, the brook. Huh. Funny, isn't it, what you remember? And we've all got stories like that, haven't we? It's great. And doodling, when it frees the mind, really, because I don't know about you, but I find when I'm doing this kind of doodling work, it brings back memories. You think, oh yeah, do you remember that windmill where Dad took us round Holland twice, and when Steve and I got absolutely soaked in Aylesbury because we hung on the rope too far or too up, or yeah, my fault. I'll take responsibility for that one. And rural Germany is a lot like rural Holland, really. I mean, it's so flat, like that. Poof, you know. They say North Germany is the same, though. That's why everybody's on a bicycle, because really, you just have to pedal once and then you go for half a mile. And they say that you can see on Friday, if you look out your window, you can see on Friday who's going to visit you on Sunday. Yeah, it's true. It's so flat. It was great. So when we were kids and we went to see my Oma and Opa in the cellar, I was telling Dave, because they lived in a flat with four different flats, and in the flat there was a cellar underneath, and there were two cellars actually. One was for all the coal and the potatoes. There were two big mountains in the cellar in my Oma and Opa's house. One was a mountain of coal and one was a mountain of spuds from the allotment. And I mean, it was very rural, you know, very rural. And then there was another room downstairs for everybody's bikes. That's what I was going to tell you. Everybody had a bike. Oma and Opa had a bike. And then when we were there, we used to either borrow their bikes when we were old enough, or when we were little, we used to sit on, you know, that they had the little saddles on the front and on the back. You know the good old days. And there was like a basket in between their legs, hanging onto the front. The little one would sit there, and then the bigger one was on the back. And we used to go everywhere with my Opa. He would, or my dad, depending if he was around. And you'd go everywhere on the bike, with two kids on the back as well. You know, it was just that was what you did. And when we were in Leiden last year, I think it was last year, bikes everywhere. It was dangerous. There were so many bikes around. Hang on, let me just do the doorknobs. You had to really keep your wits around about you, because the bikes really, they whiz around. You know, bikes take precedence. Bikes take precedence over pedestrians in Leiden for sure. So you had to have eyes everywhere because they just whizzed around all the time. And you had to get over it. You know, you're a visitor, you're a guest. Because at first you think, well, hang on a minute, you give way to pedestrians, but you don't. If they're coming along at 20 miles an hour on a bike, you get out of the way. So, and it's a university town, so add all the students on the bikes as well. Bikes everywhere. Brilliant, really, though. But it was so flat there, it's a piece of cake. You know, I mean, in this area where we live, it's quite hilly. And it's not my idea of fun, cycling around here. It's purgatory. So, right, we're going to do the brickwork. Brickwork next. Come on, let's do the brickwork. This bit here. I think we could do the brickwork, okay? And we'll start with the brick at the top. We'll start with this one, because to get that arch, look at me turning into an engineer. It's only because Dave told me. To start the arch, you need what Dave said is called a keystone. See, I think this is interesting, because I would never know this. But the one at the top, if you think about it, when you think about like brickwork on houses, usually the one at the top is a different sort of shape, isn't it? It's slightly larger. It might be a little bit more ornate. In fact, we didn't do it yesterday because I didn't know this, but I'm knowing it now, right? So this one, see, I'm drawing it, I'm over-egging it now. But if you think about it, when you do a house or something, you know, around the top of think of an old Edwardian house or something like that, or Victorian, there's always a large stone that sets the curve, you see. So this one's a little bit more trapeze, like that, see? And then the rest of the bricks, they kind of go off that. It forces a curve, doesn't it? So there you go. Without wanting to get too technical, I'm just going to make a curve like that, and then I'm going to add my bricks. But we'll start with the centre with what's called a keystone. There you are. Didn't know that, did we? So on the arch, we'll start with the keystone, and then we'll work our way down off that keystone. And I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to go left and right. So I'll get some kind of symmetry going. Nice, hey? And then, when we've done the arch, how are you doing? Are you okay with this? Are you enjoying this? Oh, look. Let me get to the water. We'll just disappear it into the water, shall we? There you go. And then under it goes. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is the bricks. The bricks. So when you do a brick, I mean, this is obvious, but I'm going to state it anyway. When you do bricks, you know this. If we do the lines like that, then they're the bricks, aren't they? And this is there's the brick, and there's the bit in between the cement, right? And then what you do is you stagger them, don't you? That way they bond. See, if you did them all, well, it'd just fall over. You know, this way they bond, and it's called you bond the bricks. So in other words, you'd stagger them rather than all on top of one another like that. That wouldn't be a very stable construction. Even I know that. So we stagger them, and Dave says that's called the bond. Hey. So we've learnt two things here about building. This is called what is it? A keystone. Yeah, this is the keystone in an arch, and we're going to do the bonding, which is when we alternate the bricks. So should we do that now then? You up for that? How are we doing for time? 22. Cool. Come on. Right, brickwork next. This has got to be quite tiny, quite delicate. Be all right though. Here we go. Yeah, I've got wonderful memories of North Germany and Holland and Not dissimilar. Not dissimilar in the countryside. Flat. And there's a dam. It's called the Zuda Dam. And Mum said, you know, she remembers they lived in London in Brook Green at the time, but there used to be terrible flooding all the way from Hamburg. You know, like we always get the flooding now, and we feel so sorry for the poor people whose houses are getting flooded. But she says, she could remember when, before the Zuda Dam was constructed, the flooding in the north of Germany and in Holland, in that area. It was she said it was just heartbreaking to see. And then they built this huge, like miles. You drive for miles across this dam, and it's called the Zuda Dam, and it's two-way traffic, but it's like a motorway, but it's actually it's a system of water controls, really, to stop the water levels. And since they built that, they haven't had any more flooding. Man can do so much. You know, man is so good when he gets his thinking cap on, you know. It's amazing, really, what we can create, you know. And they don't have any flooding there at all anymore. It's a hell of a construction, though. You have to see it to get... What am I doing there? My bonding's going all over the way. That's all right. Yeah, it is a hell of a construction when you see it. We drove over it. I drove over it with Mum. I drove over it with Dave. It's quite something. And it's... They talk of it as one of the 7 wonders of the world. Mum says it's the 8th wonder. Yeah. All good. How are you doing with your bricks? Are they bonding all right? I tell you what, I can't see what I'm doing here. I'm just hitting hope. It's all right though. It's that little. You get the effect, don't you? I tell you what. Don't employ me as a brick builder, as a house. As a bricklayer. That'd be all right though. It's the overall impact, isn't it? It's the effect. Quite good though. How you doing? That'll do. And then it goes, and then it disappears into the Wasser. Let's have a look from the top. Looking good. Looking good. What about you? Have you got that done now? Be so nice. When we put some shade in there, it'd be lovely, won't it? Now, I was thinking about this one here. I don't know yet. I'm not sure whether I want to make it solid or whether I want to make it like instead of making it solid like that, whether I don't make it like this, if you get what I mean, so that it's the same thing, isn't it? Except this is the fence and those are the holes. I'm not sure yet. The jury's out. Because I might have to do, if I did it, I might have to do it really tight on the lines. I think I'm overthinking it. What do you think? I'm going to leave it because I don't know yet. I have to think about it. When in doubt, hang about. Agreed? What's the time? 1:45. 1:45. What shall we do? Right. Let's get the rest of the dialect in. That bit. That bit. Where the wings are, let's just get this bit in here. Health and safety. This is that little area that they can go along. I'm going to have to put a little bit in there though, aren't we? I think what we have to do is just do dots. Dot the line in. That's what we're going to do. Just so that we can always change it afterwards. Because you've got to make sure that you don't go through your doobry, your sail. Look, see? So that's that bit. And then we're going to come around here like so. Dots. I think we're going to put dots in just to play it safe. I can always decide later. That'll do. Yeah. Definitely do the dots. It creates the shape without actually confusing the issue. Yeah? I've got to put the line in that house there. Put the fold in there. That's it. Now it's looking good. Are we happy with that? Right. Now, I reckon, right, the next thing we want to do, again, working from the front, shall we have a look at the tulips? What's the time? 1:45 already. It's a bit late for tulips. Well, how about this then? How about this? Right? Let's do a couple of buttons here first. Let's do a couple of buttons, and then tomorrow morning, first thing, tulips, and then we'll pencil. So we're going to do tulips in the morning, because if we start rushing them, I mean, it might be easy for me, but it may not be easy for you. So I can't assume that you're going to just knock a tulip out of the ballpark and go, yep, that's it, and now I've got a bunch of them, right? So let's do the tulips tomorrow, right? No stress. This is supposed to be a de-stressor, isn't it? This is supposed to be fun. Blimey, 5 weeks ago, we spent an hour just drawing little heart birds on a wire. So I'm not going to knock out a bunch of tulips in 10 minutes with you. I know you're good, but we want to enjoy it, don't we? And also I'm going to spread it out over the week a little bit. We're here all week, you know, in Holland, aren't we? Look at these flowers. Isn't that just insane? Isn't nature wonderful? Absolutely glorious. Yeah. We did the water lilies last week. I mean, flowers. Are you a flower person? Are you a tree person? I love it all. I love it all. I'll tell you what, the thing about wearing colour, like, no pattern, it's so easy to dribble, isn't it? Right, come on. What are we doing? Buttons. Come on, let's do a couple of buttons. Right, so what we want to do a little one at the front, little one at the front. So I've got a 5p and a 10p going on here. We're just going to, because of course I don't want to put all my cable work in until I've sorted out my buttons. So let's just free up the corner here, because see, in true illustrating style, what we've got to do is concentrate on the foreground before we can add the background. So buttons first, this button, then that button, then the tulips. Yeah, and even the tulips are staggered a little bit too. But they're nice, easy, but we'll park them till tomorrow. You could always practice a bit, couldn't you? I mean, don't practice on your best bit. Just practice on a scrap of paper. Get your eye in on the tulips. I'm telling you, I'm announcing it, we're doing tulips tomorrow. Right. Let's get our, first the little button. We'll put the little button in, like so. Right. And we'll just draw around 5p. That'll do. On the frame. I've got practice clogs yet as well. I've got a pair. I bought them in France. Beautiful. Right, see, so that's the 5p there. I'll get them out. They're like that. They're huge. I think you could sail to sea in these clogs that I've got. They make your feet look really, really big. I mean, I've got big feet anyway, but now they do look funny. Anyway, more will be revealed. Right, 5p. And then I've gone on the inside of the 5p, see? So we're going to go on the inside of this one. Then the 10p, this one. Now, don't make the mistake I made. If you do this one first, then we could do the big one first, and then do the inner one. Because see, if you look this, you've got 10p on the outside and 5p on the inside. Now, if you do the 5p first, it's quite a challenge to get that in the right place. It's even a challenge when you can see what you're doing. So do your 10p next, right? Overlap it a bit over the top of this one. Right, that'll do. So it goes, and then stop. So you got that. Yeah? Piece of cake. Right, then this one is going to go in here, like so. I'm going to get right in over the top so I can see it. So I'm going to just hold it in place with my finger, like that. So I think it's in the middle. And then I'm going to hold it in place. And then I'm going to put the line on the inside around. Right, that'll do. Good enough. Good enough. Not perfect, but good enough for me. Right. There are no experts in this building. There really are no experts in this building. Nobody's being judged. Right, so now we've got to do this inner line. Okay, come on. And then we're going to do a little mini rope. Just when you thought you got away with it. Right, so we're going to go in here like that. And when you want to... and you go in like this. Just sketch it lightly. Right, you just want a guideline on the inside. We've done this before. Right, just gently does it. Round you go. Make the artwork come to you. There we are. Sorry, I'm miles away here, aren't I? Right, there you go. That's it. Got it? Okay. Right, so now let's see this one here, because actually what I've done is, look, I've just made a little button. Let's have a look let's look up close. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Way, I know, sorry about that. Right, check the button. See the button? I thought, because we're going to have lots of other opportunities for buttons. I thought we'll do one with a little flower. We'll do tomorrow when we've conquered the tulips. We could do a little disc, a little plaque with a little tulips in it. We could decorate our clogs with tulips once we're experts. We're not experts. Right, this is see the little wrap there? Right, that's what we're going to do next. Easy street. Okay, so it's the same as this. It's the same as when we did this great big rope thing, the cable, except it's much smaller and you're going to keep it tighter. So you just go like that and you just keep coming round. Just keep coming round. You can make it wider if you prefer. You can slant it more. Look, I'm showing you different options. If I show you on number 3, see if you can see it. There you go. So when you do it, you've got choices. You can make it wider. You can make it shorter. It's entirely up to you. It's whatever you want to do. You can vary it. It's like, you get buttons, and they're metal, let's say, and they have that kind of weave around the outside, don't they? Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do here, is get that kind of effect. So it's just a little bit of a metal thing that we're trying to do. You can practice it on a bit of paper. All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. But that'll be about right. Not bad. There you go. It's like a metal wrap, isn't it? That'll do. And then to make it look like a button, you could do a 2-hole if you want, or you do a 4-hole. I'm saving myself with the 4-hole one. I've got more buttons to do. That one will be good, like so. Right, that's that one done. Right, one more button, and then we'll call it a day for today. Yeah, because we've got the weave. We've done that button up there, which is really pretty. This is what we'll ink up tomorrow. And then this one here, I thought, this is easy. This is easy. It's a structure. Find the middle. Right, just find the middle-ish. That'll do, like that. Right, and then what we'll do is, look, we're going to make like sails, if you like wings. So do one there and one there, okay? And then we'll do one there and one there. Right, easy. Let me see if you can see it better here. Yes. Right, and then I need to turn the artwork to come to me. I find it easier to do this. Right, so I do the same thing again into this middle bit. So I do that one and that one. Right, now I'm going to turn it round. It's just my own. I find it easier. I get it rather than trying to make the artwork come to me. That's what I say. Right, now what we want to do here is we'll just make a little, in there, we're going to make a little V, but it's got a little bit of a curve on it. So it's kind of following this line like that. And then I'm going to come in on the, there like that. So you make your flower, see? You go like that, and then you get in the middle and you make a little V. And then you bring your flower in, like so. Turn it round, make your little V, and then bring the flower part in. It's almost like a crocus. You see that? And then V, and then a crocus. Pretty. Yeah, very pretty. Very pretty. Okay? And then when you've done that, around the outside, just like we did on the inside of this one, it's a good practice, it's a good lesson to learn, is to just come back round like this, just all the way around. See? Keeping it the same distance away. Because in a minute, when you go to pen it, it'll be easy, because you wouldn't want to do this straight with a pen, would you? Right. So you're just going to get your button rim around. This is cool. There you go. Hasn't this been a pleasant morning? I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And so's my tummy. Can you hear that gurgling? So now I'm just going to make little dots. You can decorate your buttons any way you like. There are a friend of mine makes beautiful buttons, and Gina, you maybe know her from Hochanda. She's such a lovely woman, and the buttons that she makes just blow me away. They are so intricate and so beautiful. Gina B, look her up. Amazing button woman. She's an amazing designer, okay? Amazing designer, but her skill, or her speciality, if you like, is buttons. Just fantastic. And yeah, Gina B. She's on Facebook. Look her up. And what we're doing here is just making very simple, ornate buttons. I'd love to see what Gina would do, because she, you know, she's spent many years now. It's like costume design. I think she was involved in the theatre, you know, and so her work just is superb. She's a very clever lady, very creative. I love her. She's a nice woman as well. Nice energy, good energy. Gina B. There you go, see? So we just made a little flash. Let me just show you. It's easy. But you could decorate your own buttons, can't you? Come on, we can do that. So we've done a couple of them. There you go. Let's have a look what we've done. What have we achieved today, apart from a load of old banter? Right, we've inked up our windmill. We've done our keystone. Jury's out on the drawbridge, that whole thing there. We haven't decided yet. We've done our bricks. We've learnt how to bond the bricks. And then we've done another couple of buttons. And tomorrow, first thing, at 10 o'clock, in come the tulips. Tiptoe through the tulips. We're going to do it tomorrow. We'll practice the tulips. And then we'll ink them in. And then I'll figure out my work in progress. I'll be inspired to continue. And don't forget, Lucy's downloaded. She's definitely, I'm sure, if it isn't already there, it will be there very shortly. The digi download of the windmill. And other than that, I hope you're enjoying our trip to the Netherlands, to Holland. I really am, and I think we're going to have some a really nice day tomorrow too with the tulips. Don't be daunted. They're tulips, they're not peonies, remember? That would be a whole other ball of wax. So have a wonderful day. If you get a chance to go in the garden, have a look at some tulips. I don't know if you've got any in the garden. I don't think I've got. I might have some tulips in the garden. I think they might have gone over by now though. Anyway, listen, have a smashing day. Be safe, be sensible, be happy, smile. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock. And we'll continue with our trip through the Netherlands. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye now.